Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be using my Ninja Possible Cooker Pro to make a really easy and tasty chicken and broccoli recipe. It's so easy to make that it's something you'll probably go back to again and again. So you ready? Let's get into this. Okay, for this recipe we're going to need some trimmed skinless chicken breast, olive oil, sesame seeds, some broccoli florets, a little bit of chicken broth, some salt and pepper, soy sauce, oyster sauce. You can get this from the international aisle in your local supermarket. You should be able to find some no problem. Some minced garlic, and a little bit of cornstarch. If you'd like to make this recipe, all the ingredients and measurements are down in the description of the video, along with the calorie count, the protein, the carbs, and the fat. The first thing we need to do is get our chicken cut. Let's get these out of here. Okay. Now, whenever you're cutting meat, you always want to cut against the grain. It's harder to see it on chicken, but you should still be able to see on camera. We got these lines coming through right here. That's where the muscle fibers are. If we cut this along those lines, then the meat is going to be a little bit tougher and more chewy. If we cut across these lines, then it's going to be much more tender. So with each piece, you got to make sure you take that into account. So if I cut these against the grain like this, I'm going to have these long slivery pieces. I don't want that. So I'm just going to cut all of these in half first. Yeah, that's not against the grain. That's fine because we are just trying to get these smaller. And once we've done that, we can slice these into little pieces. Whatever shape you want to cut these into is fine. I just like to cut them into thin slices. If you cut them nice and thin, then they'll tend to curl up a little bit in the pot and it looks really nice. That, and they're a lot easier to eat. When you're cutting these, a good rule of thumb to be extra safe is not to have your fingers all straight like this and then cutting across the meat like this. That's going to be a surefire way to cut your hand. So what you want to do is take your fingers, curl them over, and then push your knuckle up right in line with where you want to make your cut. Then you just take your knife and you just use that first knuckle on your finger as a guide, just like that. You want to do this in a nice, smooth motion. You don't want to be doing this or anything like that. If your knives are properly sharpened, then this should be pretty easy. And you can do that all the way until you're getting down to the very end. Then you got to be a little bit more careful. And when you're doing it right, you should have kind of little skinny pieces like this. Now we can just hurry up and get the rest of this cut. Just remember to pay attention to those lines. On this chicken, we're just going to pour in our olive oil and we're going to pour in our salt and pepper combination. Now on this combination, I don't really have that much salt in here, and that's for a reason. And that is because our recipe calls for soy sauce and the oyster sauce and the chicken broth, and all of those things have salt in them. So you want to be careful not to over salt your stuff. If you feel like it needs to be a little bit more salty, you can always add more at the end, but if it's over salted, then you're just going to have a disgusting salty meal. Okay, you don't need to mix this very much, just enough to get that oil distributed a little bit and get all of that salt and pepper mixed in there so it looks somewhat even like this. Next, we're going to take our Ninja Possible Cooker Pro, turn it on. We're going to set this to the sear and saute function. We're going to leave it on high and then we're going to start it up to get it preheated. In fact, you should probably start your preheat first before you start cutting your meat. That way, by the time you get that done, this will be all ready to go. Once we've got that preheat finished, we can remove the lid and we're going to dump in all of our chicken breast. Sure to distribute this around, make sure you get a kind of single layer if you can. This is a lot of meat, so we're not really going to be able to do that, but we want to get a nice sear on both sides of this. We don't really need to cook it completely through at this point because we are adding vegetables and everything else, but we want to get some nice color on it too. So we're gonna let this do its thing for a little while, stirring it every 2 minutes or so. For this part, we don't really need to put the lid back on or anything. You can if you want to, but I'm trying to keep this as dry as possible right now. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Okay, this has been cooking for about 12 minutes so far, and stirring it up really quick, you can see that there's no obvious spots that look totally raw or anything. This isn't cooked completely through. If I were to cut open some of these, there'd still be a little tiny bit of rawness on the inside there. And we don't want these cooked completely just yet because we got other stuff to add. All right, so we're gonna add in our garlic, our chicken stock, and our broccoli. We're gonna give this a quick stir to get everything combined. Sure to make sure you get that garlic distributed a little bit since I poured it all into one spot like a moron. Then we can add in our soy sauce and our oyster sauce. Probably should have put the camera on the other side because doing this all cattywampus like this kind of sucks. Okay, now we can give this another stir. Get all this combined up again and get all of our extra sauces here distributed evenly amongst the chicken and the vegetables. And now we're gonna throw this lid back on here to try to get that broccoli steamed. You'll notice that we're still on the sear saute function. We're actually using sear and saute for this entire recipe. Now we just have to wait a little while and we'll just pop this open once in a while to stir the contents. All right, I've stirred this once and it's been about 5 minutes or so. You can see this is getting pretty close to being done, so what we want to do is get that sauce thickened up. So we're going to take a little measuring cup, take our cornstarch, set that in there, and we're going to add a little bit of cold water in this and keep stirring it up until we get to the consistency that we want. Just a little bit at a time. Remember, you don't want to put this directly into your sauce, because if you do that, you're going to end up with all sorts of clumps. And really, if I do it this way, we're gonna kind of turn this into more of a milky looking substance. And then once it goes in here, it's gonna thicken it up really nice without us having any chunks. See? That's about how you want this to look. Now we can just pour this in. And we'll give this a quick stir to get it evenly distributed in there. And then the heat should get this thickening that sauce up a little bit for us. Keep in mind though, as this reduces, it's gonna get a little bit thicker on its own too. You might notice that whenever you make food at home, the leftovers are always a lot thicker than the stuff that came right off the heat. That's normal. So we don't wanna overdo it, because if we do, then we're gonna have kind of a brick in our refrigerator. Now, while I'm thickening this, I'm gonna leave this uncovered because I want some of that water to evaporate out of here too. You can see this has only been a couple of minutes, but if I take this, you can see how much thicker this sauce has gotten already. Still a little bit runny, but it's gonna kind of be that way a little bit until this cools down. Anyway, this is looking like it's just about done. We're gonna go ahead and turn the heat off on this. We're gonna let this cool down for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll be ready to serve. The entire time this machine was cooking, right from the point where the preheat got done, was about 24 minutes for me. What? So, really not that bad at all. In case you haven't noticed, I now have the Joe's Phenomenal merch store online. You can see a few of the products I have available down below the video window, and if you go into Spreadshop from down there, you can see all the rest. I also have a link to the store down in the video description. All proceeds from the store go right back into the YouTube channel to try to make it just a little bit better experience for you. Well, that was really easy, wasn't it? It's tasty, the components don't cost you a lot in the store, and one of the best parts is that it's a lot of food and will probably last you a couple of days. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Ninja Foodi Possible Cooker Pro that I used to make this recipe, I do have an Amazon affiliate link for it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, I do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay, 1 cent. If you like this video, you might like this video right here where I use the same Ninja Possible Cooker Pro to make some really great pot roast. That's a really easy one to follow, and if you try that one out, I bet you'll be making that on a pretty regular basis too. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon, and until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.